How to make an online code editor with preview using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Let's create index.html, styles.css and script.js files. Now let's move on to implementing the structure in the HTML file. Specify the title of the web page. Include a link to the external CSS file for styling the HTML elements. Within the body, establish a main container div with the class container. Inside the main container, create a div with the class sidebar. Insert a button element with the ID create file button and the text create file. Place an empty URL element with the ID file list. Create another div with the class main content. Within the main content area, create a div with the class tab bar and the ID tab bar. Inside the main content area, create a div with the class editor container. Insert a div with the class line numbers and the ID line numbers. This will display line numbers next to the code editor. Place the text area element with the ID code editor and the class code editor. Insert an iframe element with the ID preview and the class preview. Outside the main container, create a div with the ID create model and the class model. Within the create file model, create a div with the class model content. Insert a span element with the class close button. This will serve as the close button for the model. Place an h2 element with the text create new file. Insert an input element of type text with the ID file name input and the placeholder text. Enter the file name with the extension. Place a button element with the ID create file model button and the text create. Outside the main container, create a div with the ID rename model and the class model. Place an h2 element with the text rename file. Insert an input element of type text with the ID rename file name input. Place a button element with the ID rename file model button. Outside the main container, create a div with the ID context menu and the class context menu. Within the context menu, create an URL element. Insert li elements with the IDs rename file and delete file and the texts rename and delete respectively. Outside the main container, create a div with the ID delete model and the class model. Place an h2 element with the text delete file. Insert a paragraph element with the text. Create a div with the class model buttons. Place a button element with the ID confirm delete button and the text delete. Place a button element with the ID cancel delete button and the text cancel. At the end of the body, include a script tag to include the external JavaScript file. Now let's move on to writing styles. Set the base styles for the entire document. Remove default margins, set the font family, set the background color, and set the default text color. Style the main container. Use flexbox to arrange the child elements. Set the height. Change the background color to white. Add a subtle box shadow. Style the sidebar. Set the width and background color. Change the text color to white. Add padding for spacing. Style the buttons within the sidebar. Set the width to 100%. Add padding and margin. Set the background color to a slightly lighter blue. Remove the default border. Set the text color to white. Make the cursor pointer to indicate interactivity. Add a transition effect for the background color. Change the background color to a green when a button is hovered over. Style the list within the sidebar. Remove default list styles. Style the list items within the sidebar. Add padding for spacing. Add a transition effect for the background color. Change the background color to a slightly lighter blue when a list item is hovered over. Style the main content area. Allow it to grow and take up the remaining space. Use flexbox to arrange child elements in a column. Set the background color to a very light gray. Style the tab bar. Set the background color to a dark blue. Add padding for spacing. Allow horizontal scrolling if tabs overflow. Add a subtle box shadow at the bottom. Style the tabs within the tab bar. Display them in line. Add padding for spacing. Add a margin to the right for spacing between tabs. Add rounded corners to the top. Change the background color to a green for the active tab. Change the background color to a slightly darker green when the tab is hovered over. Style the edit container. Use flexbox to arrange child elements. Set the background color to white. Ensure the container scrolls if content overflows. Style the line numbers. Set the width. And then set the background color. Prevent text selection. Set the font family and font size. Prevent line numbers from scrolling independently. Style the code editor. Set the width. Remove the default border. Set the font family and font size. Set the background color and text color. Remove the default outline. Ensure the editor scrolls if content overflows. Start the preview iframe. Set the width and height. Set the background color. Start the model. Initially hide the model. Position it fixed to cover the entire viewport. Add a blue effect to the background. Style the model content. Set the background color to white. Center the model content vertically and horizontally. Set the width. Add a fade-in animation. Define the fade-in animation for the model. Start with opacity 0 and a slight upward translation. End with opacity 1 and no translation. Style the close button with the model. Set the text color. Float the button to the right. Make the font weight bold. And the transition effect for the text color. Change the text color to a dark gray when the close button is hovered over or focused. Style the input fields with the model. Set the width, add padding and margin. Set the border. Add the transition effect for the border color. Change the border color to a green when an input field is focused. Style the buttons with the model. Set the width. Set the background color and text color. Make the cursor a pointer to indicate interactivity. Change the background color to slightly darker green when the button is hovered over. Style the container for model buttons. Use flexbox to arrange child elements. Space the buttons evenly. Style the buttons within the model buttons container. Set the background color and text color. And the transition effect for the background color. Set the background color to a light gray for the cancel delete button. Change the background color to a slightly darker red when the button is hovered over. Change the background color to slightly darker gray when the cancel delete button is hovered over. Style the context menu. Initially hide the context menu. Position it absolutely. Add a box shadow for a slight elevation effect. Style the list within the context menu. Remove default list styles and default margin and paddings. Style the list items within the context menu. Add padding for spacing. Set the font size and text color. Add a transition effect. Change the background color to a very light gray when a list item is hovered over. Now let's move on to implementing the logic. Start by adding an event listener for the DOM content loader event to ensure the DOM is fully loaded before running the script. Identify and store references to the essential elements. Attach a scroll event to the code editor to synchronize the scroll position of the line numbers with the code editor. Set up variables to manage the files, active file and context menu file. Define the create file function to handle file creation. Validate the file extension. Check if the file already exists. Add the file to the files object. Render the file list. Open the newly created file. Define the render file list function to display the list of files. Clear the file list. Create a list item for each file. Attach click and context menu event listeners. Append the list items to the file list. Define the open file function to handle opening a file. Set the active file. Update the code editor with the file content. Render the tabs. Update the preview. Update the line numbers. Define the render tabs function to display the tabs for open files. Clear the tab bar. Create a tab for each file. Add the active class to the active file tab. Attach click event listeners. Append the tabs to the tab bar. Define the update preview function to update the preview iframe. Create a basic HTML structure. Parse the code editor content to extract CSS and JavaScript links. Inject the CSS and JS content into the HTML structure. set the preview iframes source doc to the update HTML content. Define the update line numbers function to update the line numbers. Clear the line numbers container. Create a div for each line number. Append the line number divs to the line numbers container. Monitor the code editor for input changes to update the file content, preview, and line numbers. Set up a click event for the Create File button to display the Create File model. Attach click events to the close buttons to hide the models. Set up a click event for the Create File Model button to create a new file. Validate the file name. Create the file. Clear the file name input. Hide the Create File model. Set up a click event for the Rename File Model button to rename a file. Validate the new file name. Rename the file in the files object. Update the active file if necessary. Render the file list and tabs. Clear the rename file name input. Hide the rename file model. Set up a click event for the Confirm Delete button to delete a file. Remove the file from the files object. Update the active file if necessary. Render the file list and tabs. Open the active file. Hide the delete file model. Set up a click event for the cancel delete button to hide the delete file model. Monitor window clicks to handle interactions outside of models and the context menu. Hide the models if a click occurs outside of them. Hide the context menu if a click occurs outside of it. Set up a click event for the rename file button to display the rename file model. Set the rename file name input value to the context menu file. Display the rename file model. Hide the context menu. Set up a click event for the delete file button to display the delete file model. Display the delete file model. Hide the context menu. Render the file list and open the default file. As a result, we created an online code editor with preview using HTML, CSS and JavaScript.